As we mentioned, it's going to be 4 PvTs today, with the 2 pros and 2 veterans in the group. 4 PvTs, obviously a TvT which we've yet to see, and the PvP which we've already had as well. Start the day with that PvP. It was a good way to start, really. Get the PvP out the way and then get into some nice juicy PvT. After this, I believe we're going to be having the GuMiho versus Maxed matchup, followed by GuMiho Live, and then the last matchup today is a Live versus Maxed. There's still some really good matches to come. They started to, so they used to put 2 of the Korean players, 2 of the Chinese players in each group. But now I think they do 2 groups where it's 3 Koreans and 1 Chinese, and 2 groups where it's 3 Chinese and 1 Korean. Just because they want to make sure that, because it is a Chinese tournament, they want to try and keep some of the Chinese hype going and guarantee some Chinese players in the playoffs and so on, you know? So this is why we have this group. It's sort of like the mega group. So yesterday's group was Bjorn, and Bjorn sort of just stomped on through without really any issue at all. Did he drop a map? Nope. Does he ever drop a map? Well, no, not really. So he didn't drop a map yesterday at all, and he just advanced in first place alongside Ayasonu. Pretty much expected after we saw the initial matches. Basically, Niso XY was going to have to beat Bjorn to keep Ayasonu from advancing. So already one of the Chinese players through the group. Next week we have Su taking on 3 Chinese players in his group as well. That'll be interesting to see as well. So anyways, that's all going on. That's the group, so you can check that out yourselves. But now let's introduce these players. The bottom right hand side, our blue Terran is going to be GuMiho, opening up with a fairly fast factory here and going into the second gas as well. Going to be allowing him to be fairly aggressive in the fairly early stages of the game. So aggression on the way out of GuMiho. We'll see what that develops into exactly. As we see our red pros player to the top left side of the map from KT Roaster, it is stats. Setting up into game number 1. Again, Dastan, such a weird one. It is our Terran player who's going to really take the initiative to be aggressive. It's going to be our pros player who's quite happy to just play a very standard game of an expansion. At least a very standard first 3 or 4 minutes. Our Terran player is going to be much more aggressive though. So what's it going to be? Widow Mine drop first. It's going to be a tech lab coming down. It's going to be that tech lab. So we're just going to see a classic sort of tank drop or cyclone liberator. Bit of both really. I mean, tank vac and then a cyclone that'll liberate is the more common way to do, or maybe cyclone to tank. Either way, it's all kind of the same thing. It's just slightly a different order of getting there. As you see this S2, well, that's pretty much dead. There's a depth which is shaded by it. We'll be able to catch it no matter what, and actually the depth catches it without even needing the shade there. So probe, ship core and depth all approaching the front of the base. It looks like we'll see a little bit of a pylon rush here to apply some pressure. Pylon going down the front, and depth will shade on through, and that's just going to keep those units from kind of coming too close to the round, keep them pushed back now, which is nice. Cyclone's on the way down though, and as the Cyclone from Sadio will come in, you'll be able to target down this pylon. With the pylon going down, that will put GuMiho into this nice little position where he actually is going to defend this after only really losing a depot or so. Cyclone comes out, comes in, locks on. That's exactly what he needed to do. You can just see that maybe he does lose 2 depots, but either way, he's going to still clean this up. And he's not going to have too much trouble in cleaning it up either, so it's an effective trade though, 100 medals for 200. Really nice stuff, and it also supplied box GuMiho, whereas obviously stats recognized that he was going to be able to have an extra pylon anyways. So it has more of an effect on GuMiho than it does on stats, as we're just going to be seeing this drop coming across though. So a little bit of aggression here at the get-go, and you can see these Marines already advancing forward to see what they can pick off. Motion Core taking some damage here, actually dropping its shields already. A few probes starting to get pulled in. This probe's going to start going down very quickly. So probe is dropping all over the place, very quick. 6 workers killed. Moving forwards again, it's going to be a couple more workers picked off. Overcharge comes down. 9 workers killed. It's going to be 10 and 11 in a moment. Not quite, but he does pick off that mothership core now. So mothership core goes down. It's nice damage done by GuMiho. 10 workers killed. Puts himself up by 2 workers. Way far ahead in army supply as well. Locks onto this adept here with the Cyclone. A little bit of extra damage goes a long way. Going to come back in. Wants to engage onto the Stalker. They'll lock onto the Stalker, maybe just warping in just to can't kite backwards as easily. You're going to see actually the Stalker here does manage to stay alive due to the warp prism. Sorry, the medevac kind of lifting the Cyclone up to keep it alive there for just a little while longer. Green's going to target down that low health Stalker anyways though as it comes too far forwards. And again, the mothership core taking some heavy damage. It's still GuMiho at the front here just being a nuisance. Well, back at home he's going into some siege tanks, he's going into the medevac, he's still on one base, he's going to continue with more pressure. In fact, he already has a tank coming across the map here. He has the Liberator coming in as well, so he already has a lot of what he needs. At this point, we're going to be seeing them all take a little bit of damage. He's all just gathered together until he gets the tank evac here. Probably not going to be that pretty of a situation. We're going to see this Immortal going to go down, trades an Immortal for a tank. Well, actually, that's a pretty good trade for the tank player, for the Terran. So he should be fairly happy with that. Takes down another Stalker as well. So much damage done, especially as reinforcements come across. Another wave of units, which will look to be very powerful here for the Terran. The Great picks off that Stalker there as well. A little bit of mismicro once more out of stats. That's happened a couple of times already in this. You can see now with the tank effect, this tank just has so much more mobility, it can do so much more. And that does actually change quite a lot here. You're going to see the Stalkers committing into the Liberator, but it's just not going to matter. GG. GuMiho is just too good for stats at the moment. It really seems like it. 2-0 in the qualifier and 1-0 now in a 5-minute right now. Is this type of Cyclone Aggression the way to go in TVP? Asks J Parika. Sorry, J Parias 86. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's on Dasan Station especially a very good way to open just because you have such a short rush distance, sort of similar on Frozen Temple. We've been seeing more and more Cyclone pressure, not necessarily off of one base, but we've been seeing some Magfield Accelerator builds coming out a lot. Cyclone pressure and just pressure early in the game seems to be the way to go because pros have sort of hit that stage of the meta game again, where they're once again playing very greedy, very kind of greedy build orders, and so they're very punishable by opening with kind of early cyclones and whatever. So it's kind of like what Leifeng used to do. He used to get very aggressive with some Marines and a cyclone. That's coming back a little bit because pros players have sort of stopped seeing that, so they're going back to greedier builds, and as they go back to greedier builds, they're going to be punishable once again. Has some water. Man, I had to wake up early today. And the dumb thing is, I went to bed, like, properly on time. Like, I went to bed nice and early to make sure I'd be able to get up and be fairly awake for the cast. And I just don't know what happened. I just didn't sleep. Oh, it was awful. So then I woke up early and here we are now. Trying to drink some water to just stay alive. Stay awake. Going to be setting up here. We're going to be seeing the Cybernex core is being added on. The Nexus coming in as well for a pros player in the early stages. This time GuMiho has once again opened with a fairly early gas, and he's just going to be expanding, and it will just be a factory to follow up the Reaper expand. So gas first Reaper expansion out of GuMiho will allow him to go into like a Wooden Mine drop or something very soon afterwards. So setting up into this, and so far so good, very standard and nothing really too crazy. Factory drops on down there. We're going to be seeing this command center. It's coming up to being about halfway done very soon. I'm just going to see this Reaper from GuMiho starting to come across towards the top side of the map. So Reaper going to come across the top side of the map and looking to see what's going on. Going to be looking to see what he can get up to right now. So Reaper coming up to the top. Going to be heading in towards this natural expansion right away. And then backing away pretty quickly as well. I'm just going to be seeing this Robo Facility coming up right now out of stats. So Robo Facility continuing to come up here. And an Adept just on the way out as well. Thank you very much, Sheezel, for the host. And hello everyone from Sheezel's stream. How you all doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good day so far. Welcome to the Leifeng Cup. I'm Wardy, bringing you guys the action. So what's up? Welcome and thank you again for the host. This is third match of the day. This is Stats against GuMiho. GuMiho with a 1-0 lead. Stats is already 2-0 in the group. He took down Alive and Max had 2-0 already. So this is the first map he's lost so far, and well, GuMiho still has to play against Alive, Alive still has to play against Max Edge, GuMiho still has to play against Max Edge as well, so this is GuMiho's first match, just to kind of bring you up to date with where we're at in the group already. Again, thank you for the host and welcome everyone. If you are around and want to say hello, make sure you hop into the actual channel, this channel, just so I can see the chat you're typing, otherwise enjoy watching. Sees Adept is going to be pulling back, Blink is on the way up here from Stats. And it's going to be seeing this Liberator starting to come out from GuMiho. Tech Lab going to finish up on the factory. And just a couple of, just a reactive on a racks at the moment. Going to be setting up and Just going to see the siege tank on the way out here from the get-go. So siege tank on the way out. A couple of marines will come out here from GuMiho as well. Just setting up into this and well, seeing what he can get up to, I guess. See which direction he's going to end up rolling in. I mean, it looks to be aggressive, right? Tank on the way, Liberator too. You know, obviously he's harassing with these first few marines, but he's looking to keep on harassing and maybe just a cack with the tank-based play. We'll see here shortly. Second Rex on the way down, so going into that second Rex stim pack, we'll see exactly what GuMiho heads in towards over the next few minutes. So Liberator just heading towards the upper left at the moment, and obviously just seeing what's going on. So Liberator just setting up over here. Medevac gonna start boosting back because you just want to pick up the tank already? Or is there something, is he just going to pick up reinforcements? Or why did the Medevac go so far back? Picks up the tank. Sort of flew past it though, which is what made me wonder for a moment or two, of course. See this Woodman, I actually think he might have just seen the Warpism there, so if he knows about it. It could be interesting. As we're going to be seeing this Stalker just going to jump into the Warpism in a moment or two. We're going to see this tank that's sieged up here. Marines are going to be sat here to help defend as well. Liberator coming in will help a little bit against the Adept or two coming forwards. Well, got a little bit damaged already. Already denying mine on this mineral line as well because Stats doesn't have a pylon in the correct place right here to deny the Liberator from coming into position. See the Stalker's counterattacking, but there's a Marauder here already, and Marines too. There's a little bit micro coming in, but is going to get forced away. Tank continue to pick away at the assimilator. Still not melee much mining at all going on in this natural expansion. Let's see a few more devs just getting warped in. Actually, it's across the map, so still just being aggressive with this Warpism play is actually going to start seeing some more units of stats going across the map as well. So he's really turning this into a bit of a kind of a large counterattack. Liberator sticks around, so he is able to continue to deny mining on the natural expansion. Just wants to make sure he doesn't lose too much of his own mining as well. You know, see the Marauders coming forward here, and I still lift on the Wooden Mine, pulling it back. I mean, the Marauders actually probably going to be enough to turn Stalkers away, because Stalkers don't do too well against the Immortals. I think we all know that already. I see these Marines coming back, actually going to trap the Stalkers as well, so the Stalker's not having a good time. Every Stalker goes down over here, and all of a sudden Stats has just lost so much once again. So many Stalkers going down, obviously blink on cooldown or so. See this Warpism eating a Wooden Mine shot as well, so that gets us very low, has to be much more careful in the future as well. Now we're going to see that Warpism just sat over to the right side, ready to come in once again. Resonating Glaives comes up from Stats as he continues his tech tree, and, well, GuMiho, he's in a very good position. He's defended this, he's killed so many units that I actually think a counterattack of GuMiho just is going to look to do a lot of damage. We see the Warpism actually going down. So Warpism gets shot down here, and we do see the Marauder is going to get rid of that Stalker very easily. Looks like he flew into the missile turret, which is obviously not a brilliant idea if you're trying to stay alive and, well, not lose the Warpism, which has already flown into Widowmine and hence taken a lot of damage. We've seen this Marine Marauder force moving up through the center of the map out of GuMiho. So moving up through the center, we do see a few Adept Stalkers and Sentries just moving into position over here as well. Scan on top of that army. GuMiho going to identify it, see what's there. And he's going to get ready to, move forward. Marines and Marauders just going to stim in from the side and just going to start targeting down these pylons. So both pylons going to go down very quickly. Vikings coming in means that this Mothership Core is going to go down very quickly if he isn't careful. So has to be cautious right now. It's a nice set of forces supplying buy time initially. But it goes there's a lot of potential for Terran play. He's actually up and upgrade as well, the attack upgrade. And no Glaives just yet on the Adepts. And this attack's going to happen before the Adepts hit the Glaives. A lot of the Adepts going to go down. Glaives finishes now. There's a few reinforcing Adepts, but that's it. GuMiho just has so much. And this group really starting to go the way we expected it to. I think GuMiho Alive is going to become very interesting now as GG is called and GuMiho takes the series 2-0.